Hey, what is up guys? Clunky here and welcome to my how to play Frost Mage guide, okay? This guide is gonna be mostly for beginners, okay? Because Frost Mage is a very complicated spec and I had to kind of like practice a lot to understand how to deal max amount of damage, and this guide right here, if you watch until the end, is gonna show you all the basic stuff that you need to know for Frost Mage. And when you're done watching, you're going to start having a lot more fun because you will now be able to deal a lot more damage. And it's going to be much simple for you to understand what is going on. All right. So, the first thing that we want to talk about for Frost Mage and World of Warcraft is that if you don't know what shatter is, you won't deal zero damage, okay? Shatter is what allows you to deal damage. Shatter. Okay, so this right here, I'm gonna try and zoom the image for you guys to actually see what I'm pointing at. Shatter multiplies the critical strike chance of your spell against frozen targets by 1.5 and adds an additional 50% critical strike chance. Okay, what that means is if you actually like just use abilities on the target, you will deal zero damage, alright? You're gonna deal zero damage. So right now you're telling yourself, but Clunky, how do I deal max amount of damage with shatters? I don't know how it works. Good news, I'm gonna show you and it's gonna be super simple. Just follow along, right? So as a Frost Mage, you've got a couple of ways to apply the shatter effect on your target. Let's go ahead and just check your passive. You've got the passive that is called Frostbite. Frostbite, basically what it means is that all your damage abilities have a chance to freeze your target for 4 seconds. It has a passive like 10% chance to freeze the target, okay? Giving you uh, the shatter effect for like 4 seconds. So when it happens, okay, we're gonna use Blizzard on this dummy. Okay, it has a chance to freeze a target in place. Okay, see, it did apply the shatter effect on your target. What happens? You're not going to be able to use this method of shattering stuff at all times because it actually has a DR, a diminishing return. Okay, every time that your target gets frozen 3 times in a row, all right, it's going to take you almost 15 seconds before it can actually be frozen in place again. See, 2 times, 3 times. Now the target cannot be frozen in place anymore for 15 seconds. So that's one big freaking trick about how Frost Mages work. And most likely, as a Frost Mage, you will be playing with Frostbite. Like 90% of the time as a Frost Mage, you will be playing with that talent because Frost actually has this very cool ability just to like keep everything in place. That's basically a Frost Mage, man. You freeze people, you keep them from coming towards you, towards your team, so you're helping your team by keeping the enemies in place. Though this won't work on elite bosses, on raid bosses, this won't work on players who are using certain cooldowns like the paladin's immunity, which grants them immunity to freeze effects, all right, and so on. But I'm gonna like skip ahead and talk about how to deal damage now, right? Why was it so much important that you learn about frostbite right away? Cause it's gonna trigger all the time, and that's what's gonna allow you to deal even more damage if you can actually nail what happens with your frozen effects. Okay, so we can throw down a blizzard, frozen orb, and then we're gonna use ice lances, right? And the target has a chance to be frozen. Oh, the target's frozen. Have you seen almost 100k hit instant ice lance? All right, okay, again. See? So we did hit 2 ice lances on the target, which actually got frozen by your passive. right? So right there, that's one way to deal damage as Frost Mage. That's why I needed to explain you guys this very, like, I feel it's a little bit tedious, but if you actually understand that part, it's gonna be so much easier for you guys to include the next steps, all right? Because Frost Mage is a little bit complicated, and I felt like we needed to explain that part, all right? So, as a Frost Mage, you want to always apply Shatter. How do we do it? You can go for the passive, okay? But we got other ways. We got better ways, okay? The passive is just like giving you a chance to deal more damage. Now, I'm gonna talk about the ways that you can actually be 100% sure that your target is gonna get shattered, alright? So, the first way to do it is by using Ice Nova. I'm going to cast a Frostbolt and not Ice Nova. 13k, right? I'm going to use a Frostbolt into Ice Nova this time, right? Frostbolt, Ice Nova. Ooh, big damage. See? So we caused a shatter effect by using Ice Nova before your Frostbolt actually reach your target, all right? So the other way that we can actually cause a shatter as a Frost Mage is applying a Frost Nova before your spells, your Frost spells actually reach your target. So we're gonna cast our Frostbolt, see 13k. But now we are gonna use a Frost Nova on the target before using Frostbolt. Bam, 40k. All right. So you see where I'm going with this. You always need to shatter your targets. That's how you deal max amount of freaking damage as a Frost Mage. Oh shoot, server shut down in 15 minutes. We need to hurry. Alright, so those are the basic ways on how Frost Mages actually work. But now, here's the best freaking part about Frost Mages. You can actually guarantee yourself that the next two attacks that you're gonna shoot on your enemies will actually crit and cause very, very good damage, alright? And it is with the spell which is called Flurry. What Flurry does, it does baby damage. It has a chance to apply your frostbite effect, okay, and it guarantees your next two frost abilities to actually crit for a lot more damage on your target. So what you want to do is every two spells you want to send a flurry out, all right? So we're going to use Flurry right now. And the next two spells, we're going to use Frostbolt into Ice Lance. Boom, huge damage. And then what we want to do is use Flurry again before actually using Glacial Spike and Ice Lance. Now we start to pump a lot more damage. You see, that icon meant that the target was still frozen, so we could actually cause another shatter effect on the target. I would highly recommend you guys to go download the big debuff add-on on CurseForge. It's very good. You can see whenever your target has the debuffs applied to them. All right. So again, I'm just gonna show you again. So we can always Frostbolt into Ice Nova. You can Ice Flurry into Frostbolt Ice Lance. You can Flurry into Glacial Spike and Ice Lance. Boom! 250 Ks. That is so much more damage. Remember the first Glacial Spike that we threw? We threw a Glacial Spike and it hit for like 120k-ish. Now it's hitting for almost 300k with no cooldowns. So imagine if we actually use cooldowns, alright? So, alright. So now that you know that you can actually shatter, we're going to go over a little bit of explanation about Frost Mage. Frost Mage is not very much of a single target character. If you want to deal like a ton of damage to only one target, you need to play Fire Mage. Okay, that's basically it. That's how the game works. But what happens with Frost Mage? Uh, Frost Mage actually deals a lot more damage than Fire Mage to multiple people. All right. The whole point of playing Frost is controlling the battlefield, dealing damage to as many people as possible, like cleaving huge damage on multiple people at once, freezing everything. That's literally Frost Mage, all right? Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, sorry. You can actually use a Flurry to give you 2 charges of Winter's Chill, your Shatter effect to use Comet Storm. And your Comet Storm is going to deal a lot more damage if you actually use it when your target is affected by the Shatter effect, alright? Okay, so we won't take account for a DPS, alright? Okay, so what's very, very interesting about Frost Mage is that your abilities are kind of centered around using your Frozen Orb. Like, that's the strength of your Frost Mage. You're asking yourself, okay, well, how do I deal a lot of damage to multiple people at once? How do I apply shatter effects to like 5 peoples in front of me? Frostbite. Frostbite. That's why I've needed to explain it at the beginning of the video. Sorry if it was tedious. I kind of feel it's tedious too, but you need to understand that part. So it's going to make it very much easier for you guys to actually understand what we are doing. If we only did like ice lances on our target, look, we're gonna put up the DPS. We're dealing like 20k DPS, pretty disgustingly bad. But if we put our Frozen Orb into a Blizzard and we start pumping, like we're only pressing one key, guys, right now. See, we are dealing upwards to 170k DPS. Absolutely insane. Alright, so again, your targets have a chance to get frozen by your frostbite, which actually gives you a random chance to hit your target with a frozen an ice lance, which will in turn cause critical damage, hit for a lot more. So that's how you increase your damage in against multiple targets. All right. So the next step, okay, what you need to know to deal even more damage as a Frost Mage against multiple targets is you can actually flurry your main target while he is inside the Blizzard, inside the Frozen Orb, and the target which has Flurry on top of him is actually going to take a lot more damage from all of your Frost spells, all of your Ice Lances. See, okay, we're gonna do it right now. So Flurry, Frozen Orb, Blizzard, and we start pumping. And we apply one more Flurry. We keep on pumping. It's like, we got a couple of Ice Lances which actually hit for 100k, man. Like, instant 100k's Ice Lances, alright? So, compared to if your target was not frozen, okay, we're just gonna move away from this guy, he's making way too much noise. Compared to if we actually just like spammed Ice Lances, we're back to dealing like 15k DPS. So you see the difference? You always need to put the shatter effect on your target. Alright, so the last thing that we are going to talk about in this video is the macros. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I can actually drop my Frozen Orb and my Blizzard very fast. Much faster than most people. Why? Because I've made a macro which actually makes my life a whole lot simpler. A whole lot more simple, right? Sorry, I'm French, okay? If you didn't notice. Okay, so basically what it does, the macro, I'm going to link it down in the description so you guys can actually just like copy paste it in your macros and start using it right away wherever my cursor is on the screen, which you don't see right now because it's in the option of my recording system, my recording program. I will be pointing over at the cleave target, okay? And I'm gonna use Blizzard. See, it starts casting right away. I'm gonna point the other PvP target right there. I'm gonna use Frozen Orb. Bam! One shot. Again on the cleave target, I'm gonna use Blizzard. Boom. It's so much faster. It's so much more fun to use this ability. It actually use your ability wherever your cursor is pointing without having you to re-click on the ground to use it. So you might want to get that macro, which is going to be in the description because it's very, very, very good. So hopefully guys, you like this video. If you did, please hit the subscribe button, man. Share it to your friends. Thanks a whole lot for watching. Really do appreciate it. And see you in the next video, guys. And by the way, in the description there's tons of great guides for every character in World of Warcraft. Great freaking builds explaining how to deal max amount of damage, including a best Frost Mage build. So you guys can always check that out and have a lot more fun, like one-shotting stuff, one-shotting PP players. And thanks a lot for watching. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day. See you on the next one, gentlemen. Oh, server shut down in like 4 minutes. Whoa, that was pretty close. Take care, guys.